Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video. I'm not going to do a tutorial, but I'm going to talk about needle punching. So I've always been interested in needle punching, but I always felt like I was too busy with other crafts like sewing and I wouldn't have time to do it. But last fall and Christmas, I decided to buy a kit to try it out. I bought some books and I just wanted to learn how to do it to see if I would like it. So today I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview of how it works, what you do, and let you know if I like it or not. The projects I have done with needle punching. So this was the first one. This is like some flowers. I bought this as a kit off of Etsy. I actually bought all of these as kits off of Etsy. As I was starting out, I didn't want to try it out on my own. I wanted to buy a kit. So I bought these 3 kits. It came with the fabric already either set up in the frame or in the embroidery hoop. It had the drawing on it, so I just had to do the needle punching, and it came with all of the yarn. This was the very first one I did, and it doesn't actually look worse than the other ones, but I can tell it was my first one because I was trying it out. It has all the right texture, but some of the spots, like this is like kind of a raw end of yarn here, and some of the spots are like the loops are higher than the other ones, but it still is really pretty. I liked the colors, I liked the texture. I think it's really fun. I like the yellow and the blue together. This is what it looks like on the back. You can see all of the ends, and some of my loops are like really long in the back. Like it didn't, like especially these black ones. The black, I actually did black first. You can tell the black is the worst because some of the loops are really deep, like just coming out so much, and I got better as I went on. I did this one next, and I don't know if you can see in the video, but this blue, I have 2 different of the outside blues because I ran out of the one that came, so I added one from a different kit. And I don't know if that's because the kit didn't have enough or I just was doing really tight loops. I'm not quite sure. But this one was harder because it was more detailed, and so I have a hard time when I'm needle punching and I have to stop one spot and start another spot a lot. Like this is like a lot of like, there's a lot of pink, but you do it here and then you stop, and then you do it here and you stop. And I don't like stopping and starting. I felt like it made it a little bit harder. And like the pink that goes around, this pale pink, I actually did just like a back stitch with a yarn needle because I just felt like it would be so hard to do it with a needle punch. It makes it so it doesn't show up as much. The needle punch makes the yarn thicker, but I think it still turned out okay. I really like the colors in the flowers. This one I glued and I like folded in the back so that you wouldn't see, and to kind of help protect the loops in the back. This is the last one I did, and this one was really fun. It had enough yarn. These mountains were supposed to be 2 different colors, but I liked this blue a lot, so I did it as one. I did do the snow as 2. So I did switch this one up a little bit once I kind of figured out what I was doing. It's not perfect. Some of these loops are higher than others, but I really like this mountain scene. I think it's pretty and fun. This one you can see it's very messy in the back with all of the different loops, but I think that's the great thing about needle punching is because the front can look really good and it doesn't really matter that much what the back looks like. So to do needle punching, you use something like this. This is the needle. So it's like it has this handle for my hand, and then it has this needle part, and it has this, there's this eye right here, the eye in the needle, and there's a hole that goes from here through to this side. So you take something like this is just like a wire loop kind of, and I put it through the eye, and then you have it go down through the needle all the way out this hole at the bottom. So I'm not going to actually needle punch. I don't feel like I am the one that can teach you and show you because I'm not an expert and I just, made projects for fun, but I'll kind of show you the basics. So you loop that through and then you pull it all the way through and you need it to come out this eye right here. So this has been used, this tool is done, and now this is ready. So what you would do, let's say this is empty, you would take this and you just like literally just punch and punch and punch over and over again. I found problems when when my yarn would get stuck on something, or it would be like not all the way, like if it was having a hard time unrolling, then as you're going in, it's creating loops on the top and the bottom. It's not like a sewing machine where you put it in and then something catches it on the back and holds it in place. It's more like the pressure of being in the fabric holds the loop as a loop in the top and on the bottom. So it's just loops over and over again. And so I found problems when this was too tight, when it wasn't feeding through, then the loop wouldn't stay in place. But besides that, as long as I was punching straight in, and then don't pull it away like so far. You want to just like pull it slightly, just up. You're just going like this over and over again, punching, punching, punching. And then that's honestly how you make it. You start by outlining and then you slowly fill in, you get smaller and smaller. And so I preferred doing like a big chunk of color because it was fun and it was easy. Like when I did this blue, I could just, I was just going forever. And eventually my hand would cramp and get tired. I was maybe holding it wrong, or maybe that's just how needle punching is. I'm actually not quite sure. But when I had a big section like this where I could just punch and punch, and then I'm not counting numbers like in crochet or knitting, and it's not like sewing where I'm pinning something and then I sew it and then I iron it and then I pin something and I sew it. It was just like you could just really get in the groove of doing it over and over again. So I really enjoyed the big chunks. I kind of hated doing the tiny sections. Those were the worst. I just wanted to sit and do needle punch. So needle punching is it's kind of how they create rugs. I'm sure it's not the same and they use different machines and everything. But, it's essentially you use your needle and you're punching and you're creating loops over and over again. And so you could make a really big rug or something to step on. I liked when it was, I love the look of embroidery. I think embroidery is beautiful and I really appreciate it, but I don't love doing it. I actually bought a kit and I've been working on it for several months and I may be halfway done. It's one like this where I can fill it all the way in, but it just takes so long to do embroidery to fill something in, or even just the tiny things. And I know some people are very fast and they do much better than I do. It's just I don't love hand crafts. I like using machines because it's fast, but I do really appreciate needle punching because it is very fast. Like I think I did this it was probably an afternoon and an evening. So it was all in one day. I did it through the afternoon and then I did it while we watched a movie as a family and I finished. So it's very fast, which I really appreciate. Like I can make beautiful art for my home and it didn't take very long, but it's beautiful. It has texture. You can use really bright colors. I did use kits originally because I wanted to try it out before I did my own art. But now I feel like because I did 3, I feel like I could draw my own simplified art and create my own thing. So that is really fun for me, the idea that I can now make things for my home. I don't think it would really work for clothing, like to wear things, because it's so thick and heavy. It just wouldn't work. on clothing, maybe like a pocket or something, but it's really like, it's gotta be like 3/8 to 1/2 inch deep with all of the like loops in the yarn. I did buy some books because I got really interested in it and I wanted to read about it. So I looked at these books and I wanted to see kind of like other projects I could do, because anything I looked up like as a kit was like something you use for your wall. And so I wanted to see like what are my other options. So I got these 2 books. This is called Pretty Punch Needle and this one is called Vibrant Punch Needle. So, and these are the kind of projects, like these pictures on the front, like that was my original intent of like, oh, eventually I want to make that. And so you just like, it has all these ideas. It shows you how to do it, like different, you know, all of the supplies you use, all of that kind of stuff is in here, and it shows you about a bunch of different projects. And so I would love to make some beautiful pillows. I think that would be really, really fun. I would love to make more art. I love that I have 3 that I can hang up in my home. These are, almost all of these are wall hangings in this one. Oh, this is a little like a mug rug kind of. And then this one has like really different projects. It actually has templates at the back that you can use. But this one has really unique projects. There's art like on the wall. There is wall hangings. There's pillows. Like, look how beautiful that pillow is. I love it. I would love to create that pillow. It's so pretty. Another pillow, that one's really pretty. Pillows. So I feel like embroidery is a lot more detailed and small, like the designs you make. And I feel like needle punching is beautiful designs, but it's simpler and like on a larger scale. And I actually feel like that fits my style a lot better. Not the tiny detailed prints, but the really, you know, like these flowers and these flowers where it's kind of like a big bold print. I think both of these books are great and valuable. I've read a little bit. I need to go through and like read all of it and try some of the projects. What I really want to do after finishing these projects and after looking through this, I like that this kind of looks like knitting, but it's not knitting because I have never tried knitting, and it's not crochet. It goes slightly faster. And so actually what I really, really want to do is make, like, I love the idea of beautiful knitted Christmas stockings, but I'm not going to learn how to do that. But I really, really, really want to design stockings for my family and do needle punching, because then I can do things similar to knitting, similar to embroidery, but I get to do it in a quicker, easier way. So that is my goal. I would still love to make like pillows and art pieces. I think I liked it a lot better than I thought I would. There are some things I don't like about it, like how I don't like the small sections, and eventually my hand does start cramping up and hurting, but it's just so fast to create beautiful art. Like, it's totally worth it to try it out. All in all, I loved needle punching. I will do it again. I think it was fun. It's not something it's gonna like take over my life, because sewing is still my favorite thing to do, and I will still sew a lot. That's where my passion starts. And since I don't have all the time in the world, I can't do everything. But I am going to add needle punching as a hobby that I do sometimes and enjoy doing. I think I just enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. And I'm excited to try out the projects in these books, because it will add so many cool things to my home. So let me know, have you tried needle punching? What do you think about needle punching? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to read about it. I can't wait to try more projects and see if you do any projects. Check out these playlists with home sewing projects and craft projects. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day.